Good morning. Hello, hello, Essential Stencil fans. This is Grace here, and we are going to be doing some door tag goodness. Today. Grab your 2-pack because these things are awesome. They are really awesome, you guys. They're beautifully made, really high quality, smooth wood. You don't have to sand anything down. These things are fabulous. So happy Thursday. Welcome to the Essential Stencil page. I'm going to grab this feed, make sure that it's working. I don't see anybody on here just yet popping on. But I'm here and ready to get crafty with you. I hope you guys are excited for a fun project. I was having trouble choosing between colors for today's project. And so I asked my subscribers, the supporters over on my page, which is The Comfy Nest with Grace, I asked them to vote. And you guys, it was nearly split. I'll tell you the results here in a minute. Let me just grab, oh, yep, there it is. I found it. Whoop, whoop. Who's ready to craft? It's exciting, isn't it? Who's here? Tammy, you caught me live. Hello, hello. Good morning, Miss Dawn. Hello, Crafty Chick. There's Janice. Thanks, ladies, for being here. I can see I got a little thing going on right there. Oh, look at it. It's too long. Sometimes when these things are too long, I do just cut them. Do you do that? I just cut them sometimes because sometimes they just get in the way, man. Let's make a little bow though today. My best ever text BFF. Hey, hey, Kimberly. There's Kathy from Ohio. Hello, hello again. No, that did not work, you guys. See, this is why I cut them, because then they just get in the way, these things. Anybody else having fashion issues? Not that I'm fashionable, but I just need to be comfortable. Good morning, Laurel. Well, that's all right. That'll do. All right, that'll do. You know me. I'm more concerned about my projects being cute than me. It's okay. It's all good. Hey, Gail, how are you? There's Dorothy in Arizona. Hello, Gia. Good morning, Bronwyn. I love your name. Hey, Joyce, text BFF. So we are using a tag. You guys, these things are large. These things are large and in charge. These are fantastic for your door hangers. They are fantastic just to put on the wall as a beautiful, and you know, either horizontally or vertically. We are going to use this today. There are new stencils that just came out, a new release. Some of you pre-ordered them like a week ago when I was live, you guys, or was it 2 weeks ago? You guys were pre-ordering. They're now available. You know, you can just go to the site, use my code THECOMFYNEST to get your discount and order whatever it is that you need. I'm going to show you the stencils that we're going to use today. Text BFF. There's Bronwyn. Give me a text BFF shout out. That means she is on my texting service. It's free for you. Just text the word alerts to me there and you'll get text alerts. Are the large tags back in stock? Dawn, let's let somebody from Essential Stencil answer that question. Here are the transfers that I'm going to use today. This fantastic little set. Have you seen this set? You got this. Listen, you got this, girlfriend. I think that these are fantastic this time of year because it makes me think, well, first of all, it's got really good positive affirmations here. I'm going to show you all of them that come in this 6x6 set, and you get 6 of them. So you get that one. You got this. I'm going to use this one. Focus on the good. So let's put that one aside. You got this. You get, I got to make sure they're going the right direction. You guys, I'm making you really work today. Go be great. You guys, think of all the graduations you're going to this spring. I think that these start today. Today's the start of the rest of your life, right? These are fantastic little messages, I think, for graduation. I can do hard things. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And then lastly, and this one's backwards too. Let me fix it for you. The future is mine. I love the fonts. I love the play on the fonts here. I love the way they've positioned them. I love like the little banner details. There's some really beautiful details with these. I'm going to use this set. If you have not grabbed it, it is called You Got This. You get 6 of them. It's a fabulous set. Use my code THECOMFYNEST to get your discount because I think that these can be used all the time. They will make great little gifts for people. Good morning, Donna. Teresa says, happy to be catching you on Essential Stencil. Well, I'm happy you're here. Thank you for sprinkling. hey, Tangy. What a cool name. Hi, Tangy. How are you? Brandy's here. Hello, Sandy Stanford. Okay, so I had trouble to choose. We're going to use that on the tag. Now, listen. The tag be a lot bigger than focus on the good. So we got to come up with something else. So we're going to talk a little bit about design options. When you have, how many of you have more than one essential stencil in your stash? Great graduation gift ideas, right, Pamela? Even if you made your gift bag, say you got the high school graduate a set of towels to take to the dorm, to take to college with him or her, or to their first apartment. And you put them in a gift bag and you want to put a positive affirmation on them. Like some of these affirmations are fabulous for gift bags too. I want you to comment and tell me, do you have more than one set of essential stencils? Tell me how many. And just you don't have to go count. Just give me a guess. Do you have 10? Do you have 5? Do you have 20 essential stencils in your stash? Give me a number. Just guesstimate. What's your number? Tell us how many you have. And now we're going to talk about designing with your stencils that they may not quite fit, right? Like, so this is great. You got a 6x6 board. Hang tight. I got one. The 6x6 stencils are great. This is just a piece of, like, literally a piece of fence board that was cut down. They fit great on little pieces of wood, right? They fit great on these little 6x6s. You can put them on gift bags. But what happens when you want to use this phrase and you want to use this tag to make something decorative and you have a lot of extra space? I had a lot of fun getting ready for this today. Kathy says she has 10 stencils. Nancy has 20 stencils. Rosie has 24 or more. 24 plus. She's guesstimating. Denise thinks she has a couple hundred. Couple hundred? What? Let's see. Marsha has so many essential stencils. So when you have a big stash of them, or even if you have, Bronwyn thinks I have the complete ES collection. I love it. Look at all those emojis. I have all but a handful, Joyce Ann says. Okay, so Denise is saying she has about 40. Bonnie has between 20 and 30. So all of you, all of us who have lots of stencils in our stash, I had so much fun today playing with this tag to try to figure out what can I put with this that's going to be a pretty design element. This is going on here. I love it. I want it in the door tag size. Nicole has 146. Janine just says, so many, ... We won't tell anyone. We won't report to your other half how many you have. The set with Micah, she said that's one of her favorites, the Walk Humbly. It's a great, beautiful set. And it's like one of the original, I don't know if it's an original, but I've been around for a long time with Essential Stencil as a brand ambassador. That one has been around for a long time. I don't want to miss any comments. You guys are so fun with all the comments. Keep them coming. Bonnie's working on getting the entire set. Barbara has at least 100. Good morning, Miss Maggie. Twice in one day. Sherry's lost count. It's okay. I don't know how many I have either. I have a lot. I don't know how many. So many. I love it. Okay. So we know we want to use this, but then what else? I want a floral. I knew I wanted a floral. So I went through my sets of florals to try to figure out what could I fit on here that would look really beautiful with this. So I'm going to get the camera down so I can show you what I came up with and how I came up with it, because I'm not going to lie, I was like a little challenged, like how am I going to do this? So let me get this down here. I'm going to move, I don't want you seeing double screen, and this is my screen so that I can see comments. So I want to make sure that that's not distracting for you. Oh, and by the way, I couldn't decide, do I want to go teal or do I want to go purple? I could not decide. They're both beautiful sets of colors. I've got 3 picked out in purple. I've got 3 picked out in this beautiful, like, minty green teal set, and I could not decide which to go with. So I thought, I'm going to ask my subscribers. This is a new offer I have over at the Comfy Nest with Grace. You pay $1.99 a month, $1.99, to become a subscriber here on Facebook. It's just you're a supporter of the page. You're helping support my small business. So you sign up, and then you get exclusive content, like things that other people aren't seeing. And it's more intimate because there's less of us than there are on the in general as far as followers on the page. And I asked my subscribers what color should I go with, and look at purple had 18, teal had, what is that, 15, 16, 17. 18 to 17. You guys, it was nearly split. And in the middle of the morning, I said, listen, you guys, teal is winning by 1 vote. And then more people voted, and now purple is the winner. So we're going to go with purple because that's what my subscribers wanted. That's what they voted for, the majority of them. So we're going to go with purple. So I got my colors picked out, but here's my tag, and I was trying to figure out, what are we going to do here? Because I want this on here, but there's got to be something else going on this screen or on this tag. So I pulled out this set because I wanted florals, and I pulled out a few different sets, but I landed on this set right here. Sunflower floral set. You get these 2 gorgeous but big. They're really big, you guys. Transfers. They're 12 by 16. So again, how are we going to fit this onto this tag? How are we going to do this? Because we're going to make room for this as well. So I spent a little time, and what I did, I'm going to share with you my process for figuring this out in the hopes that it helps you when you're challenged by this. Marsha's saying, yeah, purple. She voted. She voted. Oh, that's so funny. Listen, you can't go wrong either way, right, Carmen? That's what I always say. There's no right or wrong with these design choices, ever. There's no right or wrong. It's just, which do you choose? Which is your preference? And I always say, you do you. You write your own story, friend. You do you. I love it. You guys are still trying to vote. Votes have been cast by my subscribers. They picked purple. Marsha's one of them. I love it. I love it. I love it. Hey, Sue. Hello, hello. Dawn just got done with her early morning walk, and it was cold. Good for you for getting it done. Bronwyn says, I think that this sunflower set is one of my mostly used stencils, and she loves it. Hey, Lou. Hello, hello. Okay, so here's what I did. I grabbed my chalk pencil, okay? They sell these, basically, you can get them like in the art section at Michael's. I think I got these at my local quilt store a long time ago because quilters use these as well. It's chalk in a pencil, and it's very faint, so it erases or wipes away very easily. Paint will cover it very easily, but it's going to help me make markings that aren't going to bother my design at all, and it'll help me choose how I'm going to fit all of this on here because I'm going to go with this. I think that this floral is just so beautiful, but I literally cannot fit all of it. And I got to make room for this. So here's what I did. You ready for this? Are you ready? Sprinkle, sprinkle. Thank you, Sue. Donna says that sunflower set is gorgeous. I'm going to have to get that one. I mean, it is so beautiful, you guys. It is so, so beautiful. And I don't know. I love them both equally, but I decided to go with this one. So the challenge is seeing beyond the entire design because this is a 12 by 16 and my tag is not that big. So I need to find what on here can I use and where on the tag so that I can also fit my phrase. So what I did, I'm going to flip this over because I already did this. And I'm not sure that you're going to be able to see these markings. So I'm going to zoom you in. Can you see my little light markings? Here's what I did. I know it's very faint, but this is why it's helpful to have one of these little chalk pencils because it helps you do your design without too much trouble. So if I want to put this in this lower left corner, what I did was I took my pencil and I gave myself some markings. I had to sharpen it a couple of times because I wanted to be able to be sure that I could see everything. So I gave myself some markings of the edges. I don't need to mark the whole thing. All I want to know is, oops, I just broke the lead on my pencil. All I want to know is where are the edges of this. I think I have another one of these. Otherwise, you're gonna have to watch me sharpen here. Yep, let me grab my sharpener. I was so so aggressive there with my pencil. Let me get this sharpened up. I have had these pencils, you guys. I am not kidding you. It's got to be 10 years. I got 3 in a set and I'm still using them up. All right. So all I did was the out parts. I want to know where the outside parts of this are. So I took this very faint pencil and I just went around like the edges. I don't need to know everything. I just need to know, like, here's my good. Here's the bottom of my good. There it is. That's where that's going to be. Here's the top part right here. That's the word focus. That's the start of my F in focus. And there's my S right there in focus. Now that I know where this is going to go, I can figure out which parts of my floral I want to use. So then what I did was I did the same exact thing. I want this really big floral here. So I laid it out. Now I can see where my good is. I can see where my I can see where my focus and my good are. Then I laid this out and I started doing the same thing. Like, okay, if I just etch out this, how much of this is going to fit on here and where? I can fit this whole floral. It's hard when you're looking at this in its entirety. You're not going to fit it on there. But if you start pulling out just parts of it and lining it up in very faint or chalk pencil, you're going to be able to see exactly what you're going to be able to fit on here. So that's how I decided that even though this is much bigger, I can use it. And I hope that that shows you. I'm incredibly visual, you guys. I'm a very visual person. I need to see it. It's not enough for me to say, oh, it's going to fit. I need to see it before I get started with the paint and all that. So this little pencil affords me the opportunity to just chalk it out. If you just have regular, like, sidewalk chalk, that would work too. Just get a piece of chalk because it's erasable. It's going to erase, or your paint that you put over it is going to just cover it up. Especially if it's chalk paint, it's going to cover it right up. So go with a very light color and just go, even if, I think you could probably even do it with a regular lead pencil. Just be very faint with your markings, but it's going to show you exactly where you can fit everything. Now I'm confident that it's all going to fit. We can get painting. Now we can feel confident that we can get started with our project and not worry. Donna says she's very visual too. We're going to go with a base of white. I just have some white chalk paint. So we're going to do a base of white, and then we're going to do purple on top. And because I want it'll be monochromatic in the fact that I'm using white on the base, and we decided purple on top. So I chose 3 different purples that I can work with together with all of these design elements to showcase the stencils. Now, I'll probably do the words in the really dark purple and then use maybe all 3 colors for the florals. We'll see. That part remains to be seen. I'm not sure how that's going to work out, but the first thing we're going to do is paint. I'm not worried now. I can cover up my chalk markings and feel confident because I know it's all going to fit. And I have a pretty good idea of which florals I'm going to use. So I feel like I kind of have a plan here that's going to work. These tags, you guys, seriously, you get 2 in a pack and they would make fantastic gifts. Once you've designed them, they'd make fantastic gifts for people, especially with Mother's Day. Easter coming up, like if you have adult children, they have their first house or apartment, to give them something decorative that they can hang on their front door or on their porch, their front stairway, if they have a nice, little stairway that people, for the entry of their home or apartment. What a great little idea to give as a gift. Okay, so I want to hit these. Now, I don't get too worked up about my base coat because I generally don't leave just plain flat paint color. I generally will dry brush on top. I'm going to distress. That's my style. So when I'm putting this down, I want full coverage, but I don't get real worked up about if it's like completely perfect. I just don't, because it's just the very base foundation layer, and it's going to be very bright white. All right, let's see. Where do you get your brushes? Walmart usually. I mean, the only store that I have close to me is Walmart. So mostly Walmart, but I do sometimes shop online with Hobby Lobby, Michaels, and with Amazon. So, of course, my stencil brushes are Essential Stencil. So these are the best stencil brushes I have found on the market. I've tried lots. I love those the most. And you get 4 in a pack, so you have a variety of sizes. So while you're shopping for your door tags and you're grabbing your floral stencil and the 6-pack, that fabulous 6-pack of phrases, don't forget to pick up a pack of stencils. Or, brushes, stencil brushes. Okay, we're just getting coverage here. Nothing too fancy. Now, I could have painted this before we came on, but I didn't want to miss the opportunity to show you kind of how I plan out design when I want to use a floral, but that design is not going to fit on this surface. Doesn't mean you can't use it, girls. Go grab your biggest stencils, especially when they're patterned designs like that. It's not a word or a phrase. It's a pattern, and you can use just part of the pattern. You don't have to use the whole thing. Love that. Okay, we got our base coat of white. I'm going to grab my little heating tool here, and we're gonna warm it up, get it dried up, and then we can go in with the design parts. Sue says, I totally agree about the ES brushes. They are awesome. Yeah, you get a 4-pack. I think these are the 2 sizes I use most often. They hold the paint beautifully. Kim said, I just bought those brushes yesterday. Well, yay! I hope you used my code, my friend, THECOMFYNEST, to get your discount. Pamela loves the small tags as well. They're so well made, you guys. They're just beautiful pine wood. You guys, my kids are home from school again. Snow day. We are in a blizzard warning. We had 8 inches of snow yesterday. Or no, it started the day before. We woke up to about 7 or 8 inches of snow. Thanks, Treva. You're so sweet to say that. All right, we just want to hit it with some warm air to get this nice and dried up. Let me move some stuff out of the way here. I need more space on my table. Okay. Oh, sorry for that big shake. We're a little bit wet on the edges. Hang tight, girls. Carmen says, absolutely the best stencil brushes. Treva's coming in from Kentucky. Hello, Kentucky friend. All right, I think we might be in good shape. So now listen, it's a beautiful white surface, but I almost never leave things just plain. It's just not in my DNA. It's just not. I like my backgrounds to have more character and to be dry brushed with other colors, but this is our white base. Now I'm going to flip this so that it's right side for me. That way I can see what I'm doing. I know that I want focus on the good. I know that I want this in this corner, and that's going to be my focal point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stencil this on first. I know it's really hard for you to see with white on white, but we're going to get this stenciled on first, and I'm going to do that in the really dark purple. Then what I'm going to do is we're going to put the floral around it. And then after that, I'm going to probably add some dark brown as a distressing to make it distressed. So just hang tight, friends. This is all about layering and layering it in a particular order that you like. There's no right or wrong. You just get different effects depending on how you do it. I'm adding the paint to my brush. Then I'm working it up into the bristles. I kind of offload what's right on the very tips and make sure that it goes up into those bristles. You want it up into the bristles because the brush will do its job, and it does a very good job of holding that paint and helping it stay in the bristles so that it can release it onto your board or whatever it is that you're working on. Because you know, you can stencil on paper, you can stencil on metal, you can stencil on fabric, you can stencil on furniture, you can stencil on mirrors, and stencil just about anywhere. All right, we're just going in with the dark purple. I want this to show up really well. And so I'm using the darkest of my 3 purples. And see, I'm stippling. You'll see some of the ambassadors, they do the little round circles. You'll see some of the ambassadors like to use, like, you know, makeup wedges, sponges. There are all different kinds of ways to stencil. And I would say, again, none of them are right or wrong. It's just which do you prefer. If you don't know which one you prefer yet, maybe you're so new you're not sure, it takes a little while. It takes a little while to figure it out. It's just like anything else, just like with cooking. What's your preference? What's your style? What do you like? You like it really spicy? You like it really bland? Do you like to use oils or butters when you fry things up? Like, each one of us has our preferences and none of them are right or wrong. They're just different. So in order to figure out what's right for you, you have to just go with it. You have to start, you have to practice and do more and more of it. And you'll figure out your style, you'll figure out your favorite brush or your favorite foam applicator or whatever applicator you're using. I don't think one size fits all. I mean, I think that it's just a matter of personal preference sometimes. So I'm getting this color on. Now it looks just like a purple blob. I understand that on the camera. But we're gonna make sense of all of this in the end, I promise. And I may, because I'm gonna be using the 3 colors, I may add some of the lighter color. We'll see. Or maybe some white to this dark purple after it dries. I may outline to make it stand out differently and give it some character. But what I'm going to do, you can see I'm holding this down with my left hand here. I'm going to hinge it up so we can look and see. Focus on the good. That is really cute. I have some bleed through. No, maybe I don't. I don't. It's not bleed through. It's the way that the O is. It's just a chunky O. That's all it is. But look at how beautiful. Ooh, that's a pretty color. Okay, this can get set aside so we can wash it later. I'm going to dry this, and I'll show you what I mean by bleed through. Hold on a second. Listen, we all get bleed through. Don't feel like you're the only one if that happens to you. I'm going to grab a detail brush. Hold on, girls. Searching for brushes, folks. And when I tell you I have a lot of brushes, I'm not kidding. All right, here we go. So I'm going to show you where I feel like it got a little chunky, the O, and I want to touch it up. I'm going to show you. So on the word focus, I want you to look, let me grab a pointer, right here. Do you see that really skinny bridge right there? This little piece of plastic, it's called a bridge. It holds the O together because it's got a lot of openings to it, right? I lost my bridge. I lost it. See right there? How it just looks like it got mushed in together? Probably too much paint on my brush. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a tiny little detail brush like this. You can hardly, maybe if I hold it over here. See how little that is? The tiniest, try to find the tiniest little brush that you have in your set. And if you don't have one, you're going to search for a detail brush because these are really helpful to have in your stash. I'm going to grab a bunch of paint. This is just white paint. And I'm going to put it in my tray. And then I'm going to offload most of it. So I have a little bit of white paint on my brush. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to redefine my O because I have white on the background. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to redefine my O by grabbing some of that white paint and just touching up. Now you could do this with a with a paint marker. The only issue with a paint marker that I can see is that I used chalk paint for my white. If I come in with a paint marker, see my O, how I'm touching this little section up right here. If I come in with a paint marker, it may not have the same sheen or the same exact color as my white paint. So if it's not a matching white, see what I did? I just fixed it up a little. That's it. So these tiny little brushes are your friend. They are your friend. You can come in and just paint in a little bit of your white background paint. See how I fixed it there? So a little bit of bleed through, it should never get you too upset, right? Because we can come in with our tiny, tiny little paint brushes and fix what we don't like. Okay, so I don't ever want you to get discouraged. Everything, just about everything's fixable. And bleed through happens just about to everybody, so don't feel bad about that. I gotta check some comments here. Maggie says it's hard to leave this plain for sure. Yeah, I don't like, it's just not my style. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just not my style. Well, someone said my hands aren't steady enough to do that. I think it comes with practice because it's about motor skills. I think it will come with practice. But if you have, like if you, like me, I think I'm going to end up with, I always say, I think I'm going to end up with like, there's a ton of arthritis in my family. It's like hereditary. And my mom's side of the family all had like big knuckles and lots of pain in their joints and stuff. I think that that's going to end up being my lot in life. So if you have joint pain or dexterity issues, find somebody to help you, for goodness sake. Don't stop at nothing, girlfriend. I have a little bit right here. I'm just gonna feather on, and less is always more. Just put the tiniest bit of paint. If you have a big gob of paint on there, it's gonna be messy whether you have a steady hand or not. So just make sure that when you come in here, you have a nice quality brush and you just do a tiny bit of touch up at a time. Just the tiniest bit of touch up. See the top of my O? It's not very smooth. It's not very smooth. So I'm going to come in with just a tiny bit of paint on my brush. And I'm going to come around and I'm going to try to smooth out the top of my O. So I smoothed it out. It's super fussy. I usually am not even that fussy, but I wanted to show you, if you have some bleed through, how you can use a teeny brush with the paint color that you're using to fix. All right, let's get to the floral. Woohoo, this is gonna be fun. We're gonna get to the floral now. I just gotta make sure that that's dry, because when I put this on, it can smudge, and you don't want smudging. So please make sure one thing is dry before you move on. Rose says, nice job fixing. Thank you for that. Lynn says, good job on the fix. Yeah, find a good detail brush. My preference, to be honest with you, well, you can buy detail brushes that have really long bristles and really short bristles. I like the shorter ones because I feel like I have more control. But again, it's a preference issue. Okay, we're going to go. Now, let's grab some purples. We're going to grab more purple paint. Let's put a little bit of the medium purple. Oh, I haven't even opened this one yet. Ooh, it's exciting when we open a new paint. And then we're going to use a little bit of the light purple. So I got all three colors here. I like the idea of it not being so one-dimensional. I'm going to grab, actually, I don't want to run out. I'm going to grab a little more of this. Oh, that got thick on me. Paint boogers. A little bit of this. Okay, so we have all three colors now. 3 different purples in here. I have my white on deck here, just in case I need some more white. It's there. I could actually, we could mix some white in with any of these and make another version of purple. But right now, what we're going to do is try to get some of these florals on here. Hello, Linda. Welcome, welcome. Carmen prefers shorter bristles too, because you can buy them. Like I said, I haven't even taken this brush out of its packaging because look at how long the bristles are. It's detail, but look at how long the bristles are. I don't prefer that. I just feel like I don't have as much control. So I haven't even opened that one yet. Okay, I know that I gotta make enough room because the stencil is big. So I gotta make enough room so that I can fit everything here. I know that I want this whole floral, if I can, or most of it, and this floral here. I'm not going to be using this floral here because it's right over my words. So if it helps you to stay focused and controlled, use a little bit of painter's tape and cover up the stuff you don't want to. I don't want to paint that. I don't want to paint this. This is really close. This part is really close to the stem that I will be painting. So I'm going to cut that off. I'll show you here in a second. I don't want any of this floral. Whoops. So everywhere that's close to, I don't want this leaf because if I get that leaf, it's going to be over my S. So I'm going to put a little piece of painter's tape over this. I'm going to pick this up and show you what I did here. I want this. I want this. I do not want any of this. So do you see how I gave myself like a little border line there? Especially because they're so close to each other. Even if in my mind's eye, I could distinguish between one and the other. It's so close. These lines are so close. I don't want my brush to accidentally hit that. So this helps me gain control and it helps me visualize what I'm going to paint and what I'm not going to paint. So I want to paint all of this, and I actually am going to grab this floral too. And you can do it however you like. You can do, do mainly one color. You can do ombre and do a couple of colors. I think I'm going to start with the lightest purple. I'm actually going to grab a new brush. I'll keep this brush just in case I want to add some dark purple detail. I'm going to start with the lightest purple. Way too much paint, so we need to offload it. We want to offload. This is what I call the land of offload. We're going to offload and work it in. Up into, we want to work it up into the brush. We want it up into the bristles, but we want it dry right there. We don't want anything drippy. I'm going to come in and I'm first going to add some of the lightest purple. And I haven't decided. I haven't quite decided if I'm going to blend in a couple of colors or if I'm going to come in later with a detail brush and add some of the other colors. But I know I want the lighter purple. So I'm going to come in and start giving myself some light purple florals here. And thank you to all my subscribers. Those of you who are my subscribers that voted for purple. I was having trouble deciding between teal and purples for this project. And they helped me. They helped me. They voted and it was very close. It was off by 1. 18 voted for purple. 17 voted for teal. I love these little, I'm a huge fan of circles. I do a lot of art journaling. I love circle elements. I love them. I love them. And there are some circle elements on this design that are just really precious to me. I love them. I don't know, what is that? I don't know why I love circles so much, but I do in my designs. And there are like little bubbles. They almost look like little bubbles. I want to make sure I didn't have too much on my brush here. All right. When I feel confident that I don't have a ton on my brush, I feel more confident going in with these little circles, brushing on the paint with circles rather than stippling. It gives a completely different texture as well to your painting part of the project. If you stipple, you're gonna have, it's gonna look like stucco almost. It has little peaks and valleys, your paint, especially if it's thicker. When you do these swirls, you can sometimes see the swirls, especially if you have a glossy paint. but it's generally more sheer. It's more sheer. The amount of paint that you get on your project is more sheer. Okay, we're just going in, and I am going to pick up, there were some like little leaves floating around in this design, and I'm going to pick those up, and I may even add more later. But for now, let's just get a base coat of light purple on all of these. And then I have to decide if I want to stencil on with my stencil brushes or use my detail brushes to add some of the other colors to add more dimension to it. Should we peek? It's so pretty. It's so pretty. And I actually really like this color. Let's check the comments, see what everybody's saying. Oh, Connie says that's one reason I don't like stains, because it's harder to fix the bleeds. That's a really good point, Connie. When you stain your background and then you go into stencil, you can't really match a stain, a rubbed on stain that's been rubbed on, rubbed off, and gave curing time. And then you know, how are you matching that? It's not as easy to match a stain and to fix a stain with a paintbrush. You just can't do it. Just can't do it. So if you're a beginner, if you're new to this, you might start out using painted background surfaces. Connie's bringing up a really good point. Just to get started and get a real good feel for your stenciling and to build up your skills. And then as you get better at it, you can add the staining, the stained backgrounds. If you have a stained background though, it's nearly impossible to match up for fixing your errors if you have them. This goes right off the tag, and I'm going to keep that. I want it to look like it's running right off the tag. Okay, we're going to keep that design element. My paintbrush is very dry. There's not a lot of paint on there, so it's easier for me to push it in to the wood and to do my little circles and get that paint transferred onto the board through the stencil. Okay, I've got everything that I want on here. Oh, there's a little leaf underneath the word good. I think I'll pick that up. Why not? Just give me a little color underneath here. A little matching. I may even add some more. We'll see. I'm going to hinge it back so we can take a peek at it. Make sure I didn't miss anything really big here. And then we'll get a good feel for what next we want to do. So I'm going to hold it firmly with this hand, and I'm hinging. I'm pulling it back so we can take a look at what we got so far. It's really pretty, you guys. It's really beautiful. We've got some white space. Let's see if I can do this with both hands. We've got some white space here. We got some white space up here. We got to put a hanger. We're going to put some kind of ribbon or jute rope or something as a hanger. And that will add some color, likely. But if I pull this up, I've got like a little bit of this part of my floral right there is just not completely done. So let me put this back down and fill in that little section. So right now I'm just looking to see, do I need to fill anything in? I like it the way it is. I've got the really dark purple for the words. I've got the really light purple for this. Now, if I wanted to work in some of the other purple, I'm going to grab some of this medium purple, same brush. I'm going to grab that other color, and I'm just going to work it in a little bit into these florals, and I'm going to start with the actual flower petals, the tops. I'm just going to brush in a little bit of this other purple. I'm focusing right now on brushing it in. It's very, very subtle. It's really subtle, you guys. In fact, I'm going to mix a little bit of the dark purple with it. I'm mixing a little bit of the dark purple with it because it's so subtle, I'm not even sure that you're going to see it. So let's mix a new purple here with these same colors, and I'm going to add a little bit of that to the tops of my flowers, to the flower petals. I'm just going to brush some of it in. I don't need this to be perfection. I'm not looking for like a perfectly symmetrical covering of my flowers. I'm just looking to add a little bit of, see how it looks almost ombre? Do you see what I did there? Oh, I missed this flower completely. I don't need my purples to be perfect. I don't need my florals to have perfect symmetrical coverage of the petals. We're just looking to add some visual dimension and interest. So one flower can have a deeper purple than another. One flower can have more of one color than the other. That's all okay. We're just looking to make it more interesting to look at. So you see how we have some dark purple on the words, we've got some medium purple, and we've got the lighter purple. We've got all three. I really, really love the way this is looking. I'm gonna add a little bit of this other color to my circles. Remember those circles that I said I love so much? I'm gonna add a little bit of that to those little circle elements. Here's another set. And I'm gonna come down and just add some to this leaf, and then maybe to the leaves down here, just to test it out, because I'm really liking the way it's looking. All right, let's hinge this back. So see what we got going on there? It's, you guys, I think I like it well enough that I'm just gonna do it for everything. You see the difference between this? I did not do these, but I did these. I did not do these, but I did those. I was focusing on the flower petals, but now I think I love it well enough that I think I'll just do it, do more of it. Let's do a little bit on these leaves. I'm not gonna go crazy, but I'm gonna add a little more. And see, I just keep adding. It's not even the same matching color. I'm just adding a little more purple to my brush and dry brushing that purple on to different design elements. So every time I dip my brush into here, I'm almost getting a new color or a different color, but that's what makes it so visually interesting to look at, right? Because they're not all gonna be the same. I couldn't even recreate this. If I wanted to, I couldn't recreate this myself, because it's going to be very variable and every brush stroke is going to be a little unique. Miss these leaves completely, so let's get some in there. And right here. Okay, miss this stem, so let's hit that with a little bit. What do you think? I'm loving it, you guys. So I'm going to pull this up so I can show it to you closer. Do you see, I didn't think too much about it. I just went in with color. I didn't think too much. I grabbed, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna grab 3 matching colors. So you have a light, you have a medium, and you have a darker one. Then I did this all dark because I really want that to be the focal point for the whole project. The florals are the extra. The florals are the extra pretty thing that we're gonna see. But this is what I really wanted to show up. So I did that really dark. Then come in with the lightest color to do all of the florals, and then I brushed on some of the darker darker purples onto it. Now, okay, from far, it looks fantastic, you guys. If I pull this up really close, thank you, Debbie. She says gorgeous. She says gorgeous. Who said it's lovely? Lovely is one of my favorite words, you guys, to describe things. Who said it was lovely? I missed your comment, who it was. I just love that word. So thank you. I'm such a vernacular girl. Who said lovely? I'm trying to look and see. Oh, Connie, thank you, my dear. Okay, from far away, when we look at this from far away, I'm just loving it. But I want to point something out to you. I'm going to show you something real quick. So this is a mindset issue. So I'm going to help you with your your self-talk. Okay, when you're creating, and you're talking to yourself, you're by yourself and you're creating, and I'm going to try to do what Grace did, and you're trying to do it, and you're starting to talk to yourself like, this doesn't look as good. I'm not sure I like my colors. Just stop it, friend. Stop doing that to yourself. You're just going to take away from the fun of it all. And the intuitiveness, like just let your intuition take hold and just do it, okay? If I look at this particular leaf really close up, I got a really dark spot that I didn't intend it to be quite so dark. I'm not sure that I like the markings when I look at it really close. This is what I'll tell you. Don't overanalyze your brush strokes. Pull your face, pull your eyes away from that spot. So if I put it really close, I don't like it. When I pull it back here, you can't even see that. That's not even what your eye is going to focus on. It just will not go there, because in its entirety, it's beautiful. In its entirety, it's beautiful, right? So that's my little mindset talk for you today. Like, just don't over talk yourself out of it. Don't focus on every little brush stroke. Pull your face away. Don't focus on every bleed. Pull your face away and look at it in its entirety. And that is stinking beautiful, you guys. I wonder, I would love to know from you, I'm torn, the white space. See this white and this white? There's a little bit of white down here. It's a complete opinion and there's no right or wrong. Would you put more or would you leave it alone? You like the darker spot, Jackie says. Why, thank you, my friend. Why, thank you, my friend. I just use, and someone said I love the shading. I love the strokes. Kathleen loves the strokes. Yeah, think about your focal point. Your focal point, my focal point, what I wanted for the viewer, what I want to see when I look at this is focus on the good. And it's a perfect phrase for what I'm trying to talk to you about mindset with your creations when you create. Did I lose you guys for a minute? Okay, so when you're creating with your mindset, like don't think it. Don't overthink it. Pull your face away, look at it in its entirety, and then you won't focus so much on just the individual brush strokes or that little tiny bit of bleed through that you see that most people who look at this when they're walking by your front porch and they see it, they're not going to see that. Leave it. Everybody's saying leave it. I think leave it too. I was thinking originally that I might, because on the stencil, that is not, hold on. Where are we, girls? We're right here. No, we're right, trying to get it lined up. We're right there, about. There's a lot more on the stencil that we could, I guess that is white right there. No, it is white right there. There's a lot more on the stencil, though, that we could add into this. But I actually feel like with that little bit of white space, it's like the flowers are like in the breeze. They're kind of floating in the air. Rather than one big bunch, they're just kind of moving in the breeze, doing their thing out in your flower garden. See, especially with these little leaves that are just kind of flying through the air. You got one down here. You guys, I was going to come in with my detail brush. Another option for you. I was going to come in with my detail brush and take some of my dark paint and outline some of these. But with the way that using the same brush, the same two brushes with my different color purples, the way that that worked out into the florals, the way I brushed it in and I got many shades of purple here. I like it the way it is. I'm not even going to touch it. I think it's just awesome the way it is. I'm so excited. Less is more. Did somebody say less is more? It's perfect. Tammy says she wouldn't change it. I'm going to see quick. Just hang tight for a minute, girls. Let's grab a bow. Let's see if I have a bow that's going to work for this. I am not a huge purple fan. I'm just not. I was looking at those florals on the stencil and trying to figure out, you know, like, okay, we could do pink, we could do purple, we could do a yellow floral. This you could interpret. I'm not a gardener. I don't know anything about flowers, right? I know very basic. So I have no idea what kind of flower this even is. But I was trying to decide on colors. I'm not even a huge purple person. I don't have a stinking purple ribbon. I don't have one. But what I could do is take a burlap, which is completely natural, and it's going to match my pine wood, right? And we could use this as a really simple hanger for our project. You could, if you wanted, you could add a bow, but I think this is just personal preference. With what we have going on here, we don't even need a bow. I think with what we have going on here, if we added a bow, it's going to be competing with this gorgeous stencil. So I wouldn't even, that's just me. It's just me. I wouldn't use it. I wouldn't use a bow on this one. It's always like, that's the fun of it. I'm going to show you a different way to tie these though. Just give me a second to get this leveled off. Okay, I cut these in diagonals, just two little diagonals, nothing fancy here. I'm going to show you a different way to tie these that maybe you've never done before, but I think it's a nice alternative to just tying a knot on the top. Give me a second. I grab one more thing. Oh, and it's actually purple. This is my little jute rope holder. I don't do a lot of purples, you guys, so it's kind of, today's a purple day for some reason. It's just a little bit of jute rope. I'm gonna grab a little length of this. I usually have a little extra laying aside, but today I'm just gonna grab some more. So what I like to do is match up the ends, right? We're gonna match them up here. They're gonna be like two little tails. And then maybe an inch or two down, I just scrunch this up and tie it with a little bit of jute. It's a different way. You could tie it in a knot, but I kind of like the idea of tying this up with a little bit of jute. Now, you can tie it in a knot and cut off the tails, or I'm just gonna do a little bow here. I'm just gonna tie it like I tie my shoes. And then what it gives us on the top is this little decorative, this little decorative way to hang it. So it's really pretty. I think it's just really pretty and an easy way to hang it. So if you're putting this on a hook on your front door, you know, those big wreath hanger hooks, you can put it on there, and no matter which way it lays, it's just gonna be really pretty, and it's not competing at all with this. It's not competing at all, right? It's so simple, so easy. You can do this, girls, you can do this. So let me show you one more time what I used here so you know. Grab yourself some tags, set of 2. I used the brushes, the Essential Stencil brushes. I used 2 of the 4. I used this set of florals. They're called Sunflower Floral Set. Sunflower Floral Set. And we used You Got This set of 6. You may already have some of these in your set. If you don't have the florals, they're an incredible addition because, like I said, even though they're really big, they're 12 by 16s, you don't have to use the whole 12 by 16. You can just use a piece of it on whatever you're making, So I hope that was helpful to you. I hope you enjoyed our time together. Listen, I would love it. Love it, love it. I would be so honored if you come on over to the Comfy Nest with Grace and follow and like my page. If you're doing any shopping at Essential Stencil, please use my code. It helps you get a discount, but it also helps me, helps support my business. So I appreciate that. Oh, someone says, are you going to dry brush brown? Kathy, I'm not. I usually do. I usually go around the edges and dry brush because I really like the distressed look. But after seeing this the way it is, I really like the bright clean. Normally, I would come in with, even with that purple, and dry brush it all over. I'm glad you brought that up because that's my norm. But you guys, I just am really loving how bright and clean this came out. I'm afraid if I edge it out with distressing with either brown or purple, if I edge it out and I add some dry brushing, it's gonna take away from that gorgeous floral. So Kathy, thanks for bringing it up and reminding me, but no, I'm just gonna leave it just the way it is in its beautiful entirety. Okay, let's see who won. We got some winners. We got Shelly Cullum, Pamela Mickelson, and Lynn Seaman, the 3 of you. Pamela, Shelly, and Lynn, you just won a set of stencils here during the live. If you're catching the replay, make sure you let us know you're catching the replay. Comment replay because they'll pull another winner from the replay watchers. It doesn't need the brown, does it? Debbie says it doesn't need it. It doesn't need it. And Donna says, I can never tie a pretty knot, so thank you for that. Yeah, use just a little piece of jute. It works really well. And if you're using a white ribbon, just use a little piece of white string. It's so easy. I need to get the larger tags. Teresa, you need these in your life, friend. Oh my gosh, they're so easy and beautiful. And of course, they're double-sided, girls. Guys and girls, do the other side with something else. Another one of the pretty phrases and the other floral. You won't regret it. It's just so beautiful. Congratulations to our winners. It's so exciting, isn't it? It doesn't need the brown brush. I'm agreeing. Nancy's so loving the ES brushes. What size is the tag? The tags are 7 inches by 16 inches. Bonnie was asking that question. They're 7 by 16. Penny. Craft every day, friend. She said so many stencils, so little time. So usually when I finish my lives, I say, go make something pretty that brings your heart joy. And I mean it. Like today, today. Go get in your art journal or grab a tag, grab something and go make something pretty that brings your heart joy. It is good craft therapy. So do that. Come on over to the Comfy Nest with Grace and join me. Make sure you get on the Essential Stencil email list because they send out the schedule for the brand ambassadors every week. I think that's super helpful. Plus you get all the information on discounts, specials, pre-orders, all that jazz. You guys have a beautiful, blessed day. Go make something pretty. Bring your heart joy.